Society faces important environmental challenges. Greenhouse gas emissions increase the Earth's temperature. Industrial pollution and toxic emissions endanger ecosystems and clean water reserves. Important metals needed for electronics and machines are becoming scarce. Fossil fuels, which society heavily depends on, are rapidly depleting. Solving these environmental issues increasingly becomes a responsibility of the producing industry, since it is a main origin of these environmental problems and a large consumer of fossil fuels and mineral reserves. To understand to what extent an industry contributes to various environmental issues, products can be screened using life cycle assessment. This is a technique to assess the environmental impact of a product's life cycle. In life cycle assessment, all stages of a product's life are taken into account. Resource use, material processing, product manufacturing, distribution, use of the product, and end-of-life operations. Life cycle assessment has been standardized by the International Organization for Standardization and gives us the opportunity to measure how the life cycle of a product contributes to an extensive set of environmental indicators. These are grouped in damage to human health, damage to ecosystem quality, and resource depletion. This way, products can be compared by using specific environmental themes. This allows us to answer questions like, which product has the lowest impact on climate change? Or, which product is most toxic to humans? Life cycle assessments shows in which life cycle stage environmental impacts are highest, and can even assess individual steps in the production process. This way, companies can decide how to improve the environmental performance of their product. Results can be used for marketing purposes, like product A has a lower environmental impact than product B and C. Or, for R&D, we know how we can improve the sustainability of this product. Sustainable development is the most important challenge of the future, and life cycle assessment gives important conclusions on how to make industries more sustainable.
Life cycle analysis.
Can you list the stages in the life cycle of glass?
The life cycle of glass has 6 stages. Stage 1. Extraction of raw materials. Glass is mainly composed of sand and water, 2 natural resources which are finite and dwindle over time. Stage 2. Manufacturing of flat glass. The raw materials are shipped to factories called floats, where they are melted in large kilns at high temperatures. The surface of the glass is then treated with coatings in the coater to improve its properties. Stage 3. Transformation. The glass is shipped to transformation facilities where it is cut up and assembled according to how it will be used. Stage 4. Construction. The glass is shipped to the construction site where it is used. It begins its life as glazing. Stage 5. Glazing life. Windows, interior decor, these are just some examples of a piece of glazing's life. Stage 6. End of life. When a building is demolished or renovated, glass usually becomes a waste product if it is not collected for recycling.
So, what about LCA?
LCA involves the assessment and quantification of environmental impacts during each of these stages. Saint-Gobain is the first glass manufacturer to have conducted a full life cycle analysis of its products. This assessment has enabled us to implement an effective action plan for reducing our environmental impact.
As skyscrapers are rising around the world, the environmental effects of constructing and maintaining these large buildings are being taken more and more into consideration. Over the years, making buildings more environmentally friendly has become one of the top priorities. If you look around, you might find more buildings with trees, roof gardens, solar panels, and new approaches to natural light than ever before. The shift cannot be denied, and the United States, Singapore, Italy, and Australia are some of the countries leading the way in green building design. Before we go on and show you some truly interesting examples of green construction, make sure to like this video and subscribe to Top Luxury. Let us know in the comments below which of these green buildings you like the most. First off, we need to understand what green building is. It's the practice of increasing the efficiency of how buildings use energy, water, land, and materials. Doing this is aimed at reducing the effect the building has on its environment and slowing down the pace of climate change. However, a green building can be way more complex to construct, making it expensive and time-consuming. Since these buildings depend on the sun for energy, they need to be built in a place with good sunlight exposure, which may disrupt a neighborhood's layout. A great example of a green building is the award-winning One Central Park complex in Sydney, Australia, which is 117 meters high. The building itself consists of 2 residential towers, an east and a west tower, and a 6-story shopping mall at the foot of the towers, which is entirely lighted by natural sunlight. Due to a number of unique features, One Central Park has been recognized internationally as an exceptional building. The most important of these are its vertically hanging gardens, its gigantic mirror, and its self-sufficiency. The vertical gardens of One Central Park are basically a living blanket of plants, flowers, and vines that extend over 50 meters, making it the tallest vertical garden in the world. The living wall consists of many individual plant boxes, each with its own irrigation system. The building houses 23 of these green walls, with a total of 85,000 plants and 350 different species. Both exotic and Australian native plants, from well-known to rare species, have been included in the living wall. A key factor in the success of the vertical gardens was that the plants do not need any soil to grow. Light, water, and nutrients are mechanically distributed to the plants to stimulate their growth and survival. The One Central Park complex is also famous for its large mirror, which is attached to the eastern tower. Suspended from the 28th floor, it serves not only as a dominant design element for the building, but also as a way to reflect light into the gardens and the atrium below. A series of motorized mirrors on the rooftop beneath it automatically tracks and reflects daylight up to the huge mirror, which consists of 220 individual panels. These panels then reflect light through the retail atrium, pedestrian area, pool terrace, and common areas. At night, the mirror is transformed into a giant LED light display. At the heart of One Central Park is a commitment to sustainability and self-sufficiency. The complex meets both commitments with its own low-carbon natural gas power plant and an internal water recycling system that supplies all 4,000 residents and 15,000 daily visitors. Another interesting example of a green building is the Vertical Forest in Milan, also known as the Bosco Verticale. The Vertical Forest is a prototype building for a new format of architecture which focuses on the relationship between humans and other living species. The first one was completed in 2014 in Milan's Porta Nuova area and consists of 2 towers that are 80 and 112 meters high respectively. These towers house a total of 800 trees, 15,000 plants, and 5,000 shrubs, which add up to about 1 soccer field's worth of forest. Each tower has staggered and overhanging balconies designed to house large external tubs for vegetation and permit the growth of larger trees without interference. So it's basically a huge and strange version of a treehouse. The plants were pre-cultivated in a nursery in order for them to adapt to similar conditions to those that they would find on the balconies. The plants create a shield around the building that filters the sun's rays. At the same time, they also regulate humidity and improve air quality, which are qualities that won the project a number of important awards, including an award for the best tall building in the world in 2015. The building is highly recognizable, even at a distance, and this has made the image of the vertical forest become a new symbol for Milan. Yet another exciting green project are the Twisting Green Towers in Melbourne. It hasn't been built yet, but construction was approved in 2020 and it will make it Australia's tallest building. The $2 billion building will also be so tall that it will need approval from the Civil Aviation Safety Authority and will create over 4,700 jobs. The twisting 101-story Green Spine building will reach 356 meters high and stand about 30 meters taller than the Gold Coast's Q1 building, which currently holds the Australian record. The mixed-use building will have large luxury residential units, high-tech commercial offices, a 5-star hotel, and public green spaces. The huge rooftop garden will be open to the general public, as will the various green spaces inside the tower called pocket parks. These pocket parks aim to induce nature into the building while creating spaces where the neighborhoods can connect for a better sense of community.